Hello again. I know it's me again in this channel and for another subject. I know. But the thing is, let's clarify the situation. This channel is for everything that I take as my hobby. Right? Right. What am I doing here today? What am I doing here today? Music. Remember that I told you guys some videos before that I was learning how to play new instruments? Yep, I'm doing that. And what I'm doing is recording songs that everybody knows, using these new instruments, and using my music producer side, if you allow me, very humbly to say, because I've been doing this for over 2 decades only. Yeah, kind of nothing, right? No, it's a lot. But so I'm using everything that I'm learning, and I'm recording using the new instruments with my very limited capability of playing them well, and make some songs. Which song am I talking about now? One that everybody knows. That's for sure. I'm pretty sure that everybody knows Amazing Grace. I said, oh my God, you sang the whole song? No. What I did is I produced an Amazing Grace, a little different, part instrumental, part where I sing, because I'm learning how to sing as well, so I had to do that. But using the instruments that I'm learning. For example, for this one, first and second verse, it was planned to be played in the harmonica, but I modulated keys to sound a little different. Problem is that for C major, everything was fine. D major on the harmonica, it was kind of complicated, so I skipped. I used flute from a MIDI library that I have here. I played like if it was a flute. Then I had to modulate again for me to sing in G major, because it's where my voice was more comfortable. I used a bunch of synthesizers because I'm learning how to do the sounds on synthesizers, right? Making new sounds there. So I used synthesizers to make a bridge between the second verse that I used flute and go to me singing in G major. I didn't use much instruments. It was instruments enough to make kind of good, I think. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. And I think that it was good. It was good. My harmonica execution. I called execution because it was pretty much an execution for real, okay? So it's like not professional, of course. I had only 3 classes and I recorded this. But like I said, I have music theory to the top, and I'm not going to play humble here because we have to say what it is, right? I used to teach professional musicians on harmonization, reharmonization, improvisation, arranging, producing. Come on. If I used to teach professional musicians, it's because I know, right? So that part covered and helps a lot in learning a new instrument, because then the only thing that you have to learn is the instrument techniques. That's it. But I need to admit that for my taste, if I was in a studio producing a song and somebody like me show up to play the harmonica the way I played, I would say, no, thank you so much. Practice a little more and come back in like 6 months, 1 year. Unfortunately, when we are producing, we have to act like that. It breaks my heart because I know that everybody wants to do their best to get the gig. And sometimes we have to say such a thing to somebody, right? But what can I do? Let's go to the song, and then I show to you better. I'm going to start recording the screen. And what do we have here? All the tracks that I used. As you can see, this was a track that I separated in MIDI. I separated the low notes that I used on my left hand and high notes that I used on my right hand. And then I separated here because that's how I like to treat the parts, you know. And the sound engineer that is helping me with the production thinks that this is a very nice approach, so we were in common there. So basically, if you hear this part here, you're gonna see that we have only lows. That's it. And then we change. Then when we come here, I still have my left hand in this instrument. That is a mix of pipe organ, pads, and strings. Okay? So I have the left hand here and the right hand here. So low notes, high notes. Right? No problems at all. And this goes, for this instrument, it goes up to the end. No changes at all. I can put another part here. Of course, that I was changing versions to make sounding a little different and change the frequency from the beginning to the end, but this is pretty normal when we produce. Very well. Then here I have me playing the harmonica. I had some effects like delay, reverb, but this is normal for a woodwind instrument. But this is not woodwind, but I don't know how to call that. So it's me playing this instrument. Then I have, oh sorry, it's not that one, it's this one, the flute that I played using a MIDI library. Again, pretty normal. Then we need to come for the bridge. And here on the bridge, as you can see, I kept, for the pre-bridge, I kept low on the first instrument. But I came with a Juno 6 instrument here that I'll play for you. And this part is only the right hand, because I want to be to make a good separation from one part of the song to the second part of the song. This bridge that we have here, in reality, is modulation from D major to G major, Re maior to Sol maior. What? For the Juno, I used to do the same thing here, but then I came with the low notes. I use only the highs here, like I said, and here I put the lows. Only the lows. Pretty standard. For those that is around 50 years old, like me, you guys will remember a keyboard player called Jean-Michel Jarre. I think that he was French. And I use MyTai. That is a software that comes with this software here, right? With this DAW, Studio One. I used MyTai to emulate one of the sounds that he had in a long play that I bought. And I know long play, right? Vinyl. So I tried to emulate. I think that I got pretty close, but not that well. Not exactly like, but pretty close. You tell me about. For the synthesizer sounds that I have here, I didn't use any effect at all. The only thing I used to mix, it was equalizer. You see? It's a Pro EQ, Pro EQ that it comes with Studio One. It was the only thing that I did. Nothing else. For the instruments, all the delays, reverbs, and chorus that you hear is created with the instruments. Okay. What else? We have another instance of Junos here. Bass. It's just a bass from Juno that I mixed with the kick, a low kick from a drum set. So I put in all attack because I want the attack to be very, very strong, very heavy, very full, but only the attack. Then we have the sound of the bass completely. Removing the kick. Putting the kick. And to do the feeling on my voice when I'm not singing, I use like a Celesta. Pretty simple, nothing fancy. And this goes to the end. And finally, we have my voice. This voice made to especially to torture you guys. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. So if you see, it's pretty normal. I have this Melodyne here, but not to correct my pitch. And I believe that you notice that I'm not on the note, but I don't want this auto tune or pitch correction or whatever. But I had too much breathing because on the day that I had to record this song, I was recovering from flu, and the sound engineer knows how to remove the where is the okay, it's here. Yeah, I really don't know how to do this. Yeah, you see that yeah, I'm all around, but you see I'm not on the note. But he can remove some stuff that you know, like the heavy breathing. I had the sneeze there, so we use this to remove. I don't even know what this is. All these lines here. And I told him, I said, but this is to correct pitch. I said, no, not only correct pitch. We can do a bunch of stuff. You see that I have a note in between notes. But I'm gonna tell you how I practice stuff. Let me see where I sent this, because here I have the EQ and I have the compressor. But I applied effects. Oh, it's here. You see? I have chorus. I have an analog delay that I love. And I have a FabFilter reverb. But everything pretty simple. Pretty simple. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Holy moly. Yeah. Now that I heard like this, yeah, I could improve a little bit because, oh boy. But it's already done. I'm recording another song, so... And with this, we conclude the production of this song. So what I'm going to do now is stop recording here and come back to the camera. Did you see? Yeah, this is me. Let me tell you how I record everything. For the harmonica, there, you could see that I have a bunch of takes because I'm not professional playing harmonica. And it was very difficult for me to get the hole correctly in the exact position. So I had to record a bunch of times and I had to do a lot of comping. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? That's the reason why on the harmonica we have a bunch of pieces that I had to put together, because if for somebody that had only 3 classes, playing harmonica and recording a song is pretty difficult. But then you see that for the synthesizers, the MIDI flute is just one long take. That's my area of expertise. Come on. So, you know, any instrument that has keys, I have specialization in any of them. So I have no problems playing that. For my voice, you see that I had a bunch of cuts, but because, like I said, I was recovering from flu and I was singing to me. So I had to cut, right? I had to re-record, and I recorded the first part that I sung because it was pretty comfortable for me. The end I had to do in a different take. I had to, you know, wash the nose, put in Flonase and breathe, calm down, because it was very high. Not high, I was able to belt the note, but... And I had to cut the end because, man, oh man, it was very out of tune, but very. I'm not even showing to you because the air was, I was holding a very high note for a long period of time, and the air was like, and you know, when the air is gone, the voice is gone. So I was like, ah. I had to remove that thing. I just fade out. Piece of cake. Not very difficult. And Yeah, that's it. Like I said, we used Melodyne because the sound engineer that is teaching me how to do the mixing and mastering, he knows how to remove these defects using Melodyne. And I have Melodyne from this software here. But if you see, you could see the notes, they are not on the spot. They are pretty close though, because I practiced for 2 weeks. No, yeah, 2 weeks. Two? Yeah, I practiced for 2 weeks. The first week, the way I practice singing, okay? The way I practice singing. I have my class with my vocal coach. She teaches me everything how it should be. Then what I do to approach, I do the warm-up, of course. And then when I approach a song, what I do is I ham with the piano. I get my piano there. And I play note by note, very slowly, no tempo, no nothing. I play note by note, humming the note. So I can get in tune with the notes, and I practice the interval between the notes. Just humming. And I do this for like 3 days. Then I progressively increase the speed until humming I reach the tempo that I'm going to use to record. Humming. With the piano. Okay? Done this part on the second week. I already have all this practice from the first week, right? I generally practice 5 or 6 days. On the second week, I start putting the syllables. So I start singing the lyrics. At the beginning, very slowly to have the correct pronunciation and etc. And I keep doing that. And then progressively and slowly I speed up until I reach the tempo that I'm going to use to record the song. After that, it's just... Then I record this backtrack. And every time that I go to my office or I have to go somewhere, I put in the car and I keep practicing because it doesn't have the voice. And generally, I'm gonna be honest with you, generally, in most of the cases, it's where I come with these ornaments for the voice. Like, to me is when I'm in the car. I start creating things and, me being myself. So that's the way I practice. That's the reason my notes are not like exact, but they are pretty close because I practice for 2 weeks using piano and tuning to the piano, Piano is electronic, so it doesn't get out of tune. So for 2 weeks, I practice with the piano, and this is the process I use to practice the singing of the song that I will be recording. Okay? And I know the sound engineer told me, I said, we can correct all these notes. I said, no, they need to go the way it was recorded. And believe me, I record for the verse itself, I recorded like 7 or 8 takes, because I tried to sing the whole verse, except when I was sneezing and coughing, because, come on, you know. But I had like 7 or 8 good takes that I recorded in 3 days. I think that I recorded these 7 or 8 takes in 3 different days. Then I comped everything, got the best of all these, and put it there. But I told him I don't want to tune the voice. I still believe that we have to practice a lot and sing, you know, because we are capable of doing this. Before we had this digital, until 80s, the singers had to practice a lot and sing, because they didn't have any other way. Or you knew how to sing in tune, or you were not a singer. And I want to do everything on the old school style. Of course, I don't have money and the space to set up an analog studio, right? I don't have. So I have to use the computer to record. So this part is digital. A bunch of the instruments that I'm using are digital. But like for the next month's song, I'm using a lot of acoustic. So yeah, I'm using a 7-string guitar, 12-string guitar, baritone, and guitarlele, U-bass. I'm singing. And then I have some synthesizers. But that's it. I'm using a lot of acoustic. And have to practice. I've been practicing, I've been having classes of guitars and whatever, all these, for 3 months. Because these things are difficult. I'm a pianist and accordionist. So when I get these, they are very difficult for me. But one thing that I did is, I know what I want, the way I want. So I tell my teachers, like, hey, I want the guitar to do this with this technique, because as a producer, we need to know the technique. I don't know how to do. But then I write to the guitar. I used to write to the guitarist and say, hey, use a slide technique, or use a mute technique, a palm mute technique. Because as a producer, we need to know, at least. I'm from 80s and 90s. So I had to know, okay? Like I said, we used to record in heel-to-heel tape decks. I had to know the techniques. So I tell my teacher, I say, hey, I want to do this using this technique. How do I do? So he writes the tablature for me of everything the way I want. He gives ideas. So, hey, I think that if you do this, it would be very nice. And of course, as a producer, I need to accept ideas from everybody, because I have something in my mind. Maybe he has something way better, because he knows the instrument much better than I do, you know? And, but basically it's this, and then I practice. I'm still practicing to record the guitarlele and the 12-string guitar on the next month's song. because I want to play. And I don't know how to do that. But I have to learn, so I have to practice. Okay? That's it. This is the pre-release of this month's song. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope that next week you are back to check the song, and then let me know if you like the song or not. What would you do different if you have any ideas on the arrangement and stuff like that? Okay? Let me know. Like I said, I always like to listen to ideas. It's very important. We learn when we listen to other ideas. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you'll be back next week to check this song. Bye.